jealousy and feeling envious of things that other people have and wanting what other people have and feeling kind of threatened about the loss of what we perceive to be ours might be a pretty normal uh, emotion to have, reaction, whatever you want to call it. The problem with the jealousy, though, is that it comes with a lot of kind of like how roses have thorns. You know, from the outside it looks pretty, but you move in and you try to touch it, your ass is going to be bleeding. And in the case of a jealous and controlling mate, you may end up dead. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to have some screens up that shows just a few recent cases of women who have been murdered by ex-boyfriends who they wanted to get away from because the dude was wacko, and the dude was not having, he just would not accept the fact that the relationship was over. In several of the cases I've found, not only did they kill or attempt to kill their ex-girlfriend, they also killed and attempted to kill the new guy that the woman was going out with. So if this becomes a real issue, and you know, I want to talk about it because I think the programming to, we get programmed early as little girls to think that when a man shows jealousy, that that's a good thing, that when he, that means he cares, that means he loves you. And believe it or not, I actually found some, you know, some things online that were published within the last 24 months that said pretty much the same thing. And these were published, these were things were published by men, you know, promoting this thing, or, you know, don't blame him if he gets jealous. That just means he cares, and, you know, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that might be true in his mind, but what really is being reflected there is his insecurity and low self-esteem. And for people who get very jealous and, you know, you're going to be all in your feelings about this conversation, click off now or just deal with it, because I'm about to lay it out for you. If you are feeling jealous about, and you know, you got your mind all fucked up about what somebody might be doing with somebody else, you have problems. You have problems, self-esteem issues, and you need to see a shrink, because there's nothing about that kind of reaction to what you think somebody, okay, you don't even have any proof. This is all in your mind. You just flipping out. Now, some people say, well, what if you do have proof? You know, what if you've been cheated on in the past and this is a reaction that you're having? Again, get some fucking therapy. You know, you dealing in the past and you bringing that shit into the new relationship. See, I like, if somebody person's like me, you charge me with some crime that some other motherfucker did, I'm out like a light switch. I'm not doing time for what somebody else did. That person hurt you, and that's the fucker that you need to deal with them emotions with, not me. I'm not here to fix you. You a big boy, fix your damn self. That's not my job. So, you know, if you ladies, if this is your problem, you know, I mean, a lot of people have been through that. But, you know, fix it. Take responsibility. Nobody who listens to this channel is under the age of 18. Or if they are, I don't know about it. But, you know, the stuff that I discuss here is for pretty more, you know, mature people. And at that point, you can get your ass in a car, on a bus, or in a taxi, or in an Uber, and you can take your behind to a shrink and get some help. So there's no reason in this world why you should be wallowing in that kind of, you know, muck and mire in your mind, making yourself sick with jealousy over some shit, you know, with some man. Now, the reason why I say that is this. See, this is my own philosophy. Yes, I might like this person. Yes, I might want this relationship to continue. But do I have the power to make that happen by myself? Absolutely not. You require a willing participant, someone who is willing and interested and capable of loving you back with the devotion that you give them. If you do not have a situation like that, and you feel like this person's slipping away, this person's attention is going elsewhere, this person's not really caring about you the way you want them to, and you start flipping out and getting possessive and controlling and jealous, that's stupid. I don't even know what else to tell you. That's just dumb. Because what you are doing is trying to beg for somebody to give you something. You are like all in your feelings like a toddler, like somebody's trying to take your toy. You know, and it's like you don't own a person. I mean, slavery is over. Okay, you don't own anyone. They come and go in and out of your life with their own free will. They love you with their own free will. They stop loving you with their own free will. They cheat on you with their own free will. Whatever they do, they decided to do it. So for you to be jealous of somebody else and what they might be thinking, want to do, be trying to do or something in your mind makes no goddamn sense. Your mate is not going to do anything with anybody unless they want to. That's the thing that you all just cannot seem to understand. You just can't seem to get it. Now, I have to share, my dad, we used to have a lot of conversations when I was a teenager. About all kind of crazy shit. Sometimes I think about the stuff we used to talk about, and it just makes me just go, good Lord, what in the world? But at this one particular day, we were talking about jealousy, and my dad was admonishing me because he said that I gave my men, quote, too much freedom. And I was like, too much freedom? What the hell? I didn't understand what he meant. And he's like, well, a normal woman, I'm not saying he's right, I'm just telling you what he said, okay? He says a normal woman, like, her man would be, getting his coat, trying to go somewhere. She'd be getting her coat too, talking about where we going. And I just looked at him. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. And he said, I know you're not. And that's why I'm telling you, you're going to have problems with the men in your life because you give them too much space and you give them too much freedom. And men don't know how to handle that. They think if you give them all that freedom and all that space, that it means you don't care. And I looked at him because I was thinking, I don't. But, you know what I mean? I love them and stuff, but I'm never going to love anybody more than I love Deb. That's just not going to happen. And if a man, like I said, I've had this attitude that I have since I was young. Before I even started dating. And it's like I just realized, from watching other people that we don't control anyone. Half people don't even control their damn self. So what you going to look like trying to control somebody else? And I said you can't control yourself because, people say, oh, I'm going to go on a diet. Then they cheat. I'm going to start smoking. Then they don't. I'm going to, cut back on my candy and soda. Do they ever? You know what I mean? I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to go work out 3 days a week. You see them on the couch. So, when you see people don't even control themselves, where's this expectation that you're going to control somebody else come from? Let's be logical here. That makes no damn sense. I just don't even understand where that thought comes from. So, let's just say you have a situation, right? And your dude, is flipping out and acting a fool. So you like, why are you acting jealous? And he is going to typically come back and say, well, I trust you, babe. It's the other dudes that I don't trust. That's bullshit. Now that is an excuse that they give, but you know what I mean? That makes no logical sense. Let me tell you why. If he really trusted you, then he would step back and let you handle it, unless there was a threat of violence towards you. You know what I mean? And he needed to physically help get in there and physically protect you or something. That's different. I'm just talking about from somebody, trying to flirt with you or whatever, trying to get at you. And he's nearby, he's not right there, but he's nearby. If he really trusted you, whether you at work or somewhere else where he's not, wherever you are, if he really trusted you and the faith of your relationship and your love for him, he would not be worried about what you're going to do and how you're going to handle it. Because he would understand that you was going to check a motherfucker and it would be nothing else to even concern yourself with. Instead, they use that weak line, well, it's not you. I trust you. I don't trust the other dude. Fucking liar. Liar, liar, liar. You don't trust her either. That's what it is. You don't trust that she's going to really have your back and really be protecting the relationship the way that you want to. What does that mean? That you're feeling insecure. What does that mean? That you're feeling jealous, that you're feeling threatened, and that you want to run around and try to protect what you think you own. Now let's talk about that too. This sense of ownership. That becomes a problem. Let me tell you guys a story. See, I don't deal with jealous dudes. I'm not saying they can't feel it, but you better keep it a goddamn secret. If you want to tell somebody, you better tell your shrink, your pastor, your mama, your best friend who I don't know. Somebody where it's not going to get back to me. Because once I find out that you were a jealous fool, I'm done with you. It's over. This dude, it was like our third date. And I actually let him come to my house to pick me up, right? And that day, I had done a resume. I helped a friend with a resume, and he went on an interview. So he was calling me right before we was leaving on his date to tell me how the interview went, and to give me his the person who interviewed him, his name and email address, so I could send out a thank you for the interview email for him. Okay, so I'm writing all this down, and the dude was sitting on my couch. This was in the olden days when people still had landlines in addition to cell phones. Now most people just have a cell phone. So I'm on the landline, right? So I'm writing this down. I'm in the kitchen, and the dude is sitting on the couch in the living room. But I had like a bar thing, so you could like look through it and see, the people in the living room. So I'm seeing him, and his face is getting all twisted up and looking all crazy, right? But I'm, talking to my friend Ken, and I'm writing everything down. And so when I hang up, this nigga, like I said, who is our third date, so I don't really know this motherfucker, he says, "Who was that on the phone?" And just that tone, honey, that tone. And I was like, what? I could feel my head, kind of my eyebrows go up, and I'm looking. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who was that on the phone? Well, that must have been one of your niggas. That's what he said to me. I was like, oh my God, this dude obviously don't know who he's dealing with. I said, let me explain something to you, motherfucker. This is my goddamn house. Everything up in here is mine, including this phone and anybody that calls on it. You don't pay no bills up in this bitch. So don't matter who calls on the phone, it's not your goddamn business. Don't you ever ask me no shit like that again. So he looked stunned because I just like flashed on him. And then he stood up. Right now I'm in the kitchen. I have like this butcher block thing with cooking, like chef knives and paring knives and, cleavers and all kind of shit in it, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I don't really know this dude. Why did I bring him to my house? And he's up here acting jealous and stupid. I'm going to have to chop this motherfucker. So I get one of those things in my hand. I put it behind my back. He comes in the kitchen and he's looking all, like menacing and shit, like, I don't like my woman, this and that. I'm like, I'm not your woman. So then I had to pull my knife out. I said, I want you to get the fuck out of my house. I want you to go right now. Then he looks at me, he's like, you gonna try to kill me with that? I said, no. If I have to swing it, I'm going for your jugular vein. I'm gonna chop your fucking head off. So get out, leave. So he left. He was like, I think he was scared. He's thinking this bitch is crazy. She'll probably grind me up in that blender and put me down the garbage disposal. But I'm like, oh my God. See, I don't do jealous, because to me, jealous is one step from crazy. And I'm not going to be jumping through hoops and trying to appease some man about his feelings about something that I do, because I do what the fuck I want to do. Now, if I'm in a committed relationship, I'm going to treat you right. I'm not going to be that kind of person. But if we just kicking it like that, it don't matter who's on my phone. There could have been 10 motherfuckers on my phone on a party line. That's not your concern, because I'm not your woman. Now, another thing that I think people need to understand is when you have a history of people cheating on you and being jealous, some of you will bring that into your current relationships, as I was mentioning. So because of the behaviors that someone else exhibited before you found out that they were cheating, you look for it. You go looking for stuff. You're the kind that will try to go through people's phones and go through their drawers and go through their wallets and their glove compartments and under the seats of their car and all through their house and flip through their phone books and their, not phone books, photo albums and everything. You're just going to be looking for evidence that this person is cheating, and you drive yourself nuts. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I mean, the bottom line is, like I said, if they want to cheat on you, they're going to do it. And it's nothing you can do to stop them. The only thing you can do is either decide to trust the person or not. If you decide not, then why are you there? I mean, I get letters like that to my advice column. I'm in love with him, but I don't trust him. How does that work? I have a video on the channel, too. It was one of my first videos done probably about 5 or 6 years ago. How could you love a man that you don't trust? Because I don't get that at all. It's like in order to get my heart, I have to trust you that you're going to take good care of it when I put it into your hands for safekeeping. If I don't trust you, you're not going to get shit from me. Nothing. Definitely not my love. That's just not going to happen. Some of you, when you have when you're jealous, is based on a sense of ownership. You think that this person is yours like a toy. and you get like an absolute toddler about it. You know, you don't want anybody else to play with your toy. Some of you will get jealous of friends, even of the same sex friends, the relationships that they have. You'll be jealous of their children and the attention they give them. You'll be jealous of their time they spend with their parents. You'll be envious of the stuff that happens at their job and the relationship they have with their coworkers. I mean, all kind of just silly nonsense. And it's like you so focused on what that person's doing and maybe doing and possibly thinking about doing. Your life is at a standstill going down the toilet because you're not paying attention to your stuff. You too focused on what that person might maybe possibly consider doing. That's what you're doing. And again, how is all that going to stop them from cheating if that's really what they want to do? I've always been curious about that. All that wasted energy and all that time focusing on trying to prevent somebody from doing something that they can do in 5 minutes when you're not looking. I mean, what's the point of all that? I understand that jealousy is, probably a normal human emotion. I mean, right up there with happiness and sadness and grief and, everything else that we experience as human beings. The part that is the most risky, though, is how your partner handles their jealousy. If they fly into a rage, well, see, then you could be one of these articles on Google where people, their suspicions take over, and the next thing you know, you in the hospital in intensive care or pushing up daisies some damn where. These dudes are not wrapped too tight. I mean, as we've been discussing over these videos, doing these videos over the last few months, a lot of these guys are kind of emotionally fragile and mentally not too stable. So if they have a situation where they finally get a girlfriend, they're going to be so excited about it and feel so like possessive of you and not want to lose you and stuff like that. It makes it really hard to have a normal relationship with ebbs and flows and fights and discussions and conflict resolutions and stuff like that, because they're in terror that they're going to lose you. So you don't really have that kind of flexibility, and you end up feeling like you have to walk on eggshells to keep that person at an even keel. And I don't know how y'all live like that. I mean, I know when, I have to think about what I'm going to say because I don't want him to get upset and, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm thinking, who gives a shit? And, I just can't be around men like that. But I do have to tell you guys, generally I don't get jealous, but I did one time experience jealousy. And it was the worst 5 minutes of my life. I was just like, and it was so stupid. I talked myself off the cliff, trust me, but, because I was sitting there analyzing myself, saying, you was about the dumbest dummy, because I broke up with this dude, right? And I was out with somebody else. So we went to the Calvin Simmons Theater in Oakland. It was a comedy show. For some reason, we had front row seats though. And so for some reason though, I felt this heat on the back of my neck. And as crowded and as big as that place is, I turned and locked eyes with my ex, right? And we had been broken up for about maybe a week or two when this happened. And he was with some girl, and she was like all draped all over him and just like climbing into his skin with him. And he saw me and I saw him, and he looked like deer in headlights, and I probably looked the same way. And I remember I turned back around real fast, right back to the stage, and I could feel my heart racing. It's like I broke out into a sweat. My stomach started hurting. I was like, I couldn't breathe. It was awful. Awful. So I mean, you people who get that kind of feeling all the time, honey, I feel for you, because that was like, I'm telling you, it was just so awful. So I felt really bad because the dude I was with, he didn't know any of this was going on. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to run to the ladies' room. So I had to go in there and wipe, fix my makeup, because that sweat had made my makeup start running and shit. I looked a hot mess. So I fixed myself up and, calmed myself down. And then I came back, and by the time I came back to my seat, they were gone. So I don't know if they changed seats or if he just left, because he didn't, since he was behind me and I'm in the front row, he's going to be able to see everything I do for the whole performance. And I would imagine that would be kind of uncomfortable for him. So I think they left. But, oh my God, that was just like, the worst experience. I was like hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. I swear that was just the worst. Oh my God. So that was my first and last time, feeling like that. And I was like, whew, I never want to feel that feeling again. But I don't know. Just think about this whole jealousy thing. I put a definition of what jealousy is for people who aren't really clear. And, my points are that if you're jealous, it's basically, that you're lacking in self-confidence and self-esteem, that there's something missing in your life. There's something missing and you're trying to fill that void with this person by, globbing onto this individual. And you need to really do some insightful analysis into yourself and figure out what it is that you think this person's going to give you that you can't give to yourself or get from some other way. There's this fixation on the individual that you have, globbed onto that's really unhealthy for both parties. And then my third point is that when you're really jealous, it's just hard to be in a relationship with people who are real jealous. I mean, like I said earlier, you feel like you're walking on eggshells because you're always trying to not say something or do something to prove that, you're not cheating, or you reporting in all the damn time, or, you let them control too much of your whereabouts and what you wear and who your friends are and all this stuff because you're just so anxious to keep the peace. It's very difficult. I mean, those kind of relationships are quite burdensome on the other party. And it's not, when do you have time to really enjoy the relationship? You're always hopping around trying to make sure that this person doesn't get upset, I think too that the focus should be on changing. If you find that you are a very jealous person, you feel very insecure about your relationship, think about it. Is this all emanating from you, or does that person intentionally do things to push your buttons? Now, this is very important because sometimes, you get in these situations with the jealous person and the person who's a narcissist. They're going to enjoy making you jealous and getting those reactions out of you because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel powerful and desired. So if you have a partner who, you've already discussed with them some things that you don't like and that set you off. And I mean, it's just normal stuff. Not that you're trying to control them, but just, things that you feel are, respectful, not trying to stare at people in front of your face and, just things like that, just courtesy things. But they insist on doing it anyway. Well, see, you have a problem of a greater magnitude than can be just covered by a discussion on jealousy. You have a sadistic partner who intentionally hurts you for their own entertainment. And you have to really, really, really consider if that's a relationship that makes sense for you, because it's just going to make you feel more upset, more depressed, more insecure, more unworthy, and more confused and jealous. So, that's not a good situation to be in. You've talked to them, you said, please stop doing this to me, and they keep doing it anyway. I mean, okay, then now it's on you. You have to decide, am I going to stick around and keep taking this abuse and let them torture me, or am I going to be out and find somebody who understands how important it is to treat me with the respect that I deserve? So that's a decision that you have to make. I can't make that one for you. And I guess finally, how do I want to close this off? I think just be careful. From the response that most women get from guys, women see that jealousy thing as a positive, especially the young ones. They think, well, my man is so jealous. He won't let me do this and that. And they say it with this sense of pride, which is always confuses me. I mean, I don't really say too much, because most of the time I don't really know these people. I'm just listening. But it always confuses me, what messages were they given as young girls that make them think, now that they're in their 20s, that this is sane and sensible and healthy behaviors from a male. I mean, these are the kind of dudes that turn into stalkers and, murderers and wipe out your whole family. Remember Jennifer Hudson's sister's dude. I mean, he just want to kill up everybody because he was jealous. I mean, these dudes are just not, something is wrong with a lot of them. You know what I mean? You just never know. But I think a lot of them exhibit signs early, like I said, like how the dude did on our third date. You know, his whole tone of voice changed, his face looked all fucked up, and he was talking crazy to me. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to stab this motherfucker in the neck. So it's like, you know, you have to pay attention to stuff like that. Don't brush that stuff off. Don't laugh it off. That's a sign, and it's a signal, it's a warning bell that you are involved with a fucking fool, and you may end up dead. So, you know, be careful. Listen to what I'm saying. Watch for these signs and symptoms, and then if you feel like, you know, it's getting to be, is headed in a direction where you don't want to go, you know, break it off as soon as possible. These guys, you know, a lot of them, they just don't want to hear no. So you deal with them for a few months, you know, you have sex with them and stuff like that. I mean, they turn into complete possessive nutcases. They don't want to let you go. I remember one of my friends, you know, my friend from college, she lived from Chicago. Her sister got shot in the face by, as she got off the bus, by a dude she went out with a month or two, and then decided that the dude was too jealous and possessive, and he knew her work schedule. So when she got off the bus after work, he was waiting at the bus stop, shot her right in the face in front of, you know, 200 people. Didn't give no, just had no fucks, and shot her dead because he was jealous that she was leaving him. So this is the kind of stuff that women face. These threats by very jealous, insecure men with low self-esteem are very real. Watch for the signs, watch for the symptoms. If you have any confusion about what's going on in the situation that you're in, you know, please write to me. My email address is survivingdating@gmail.com. And or there was a form that you can fill out on the survivingdating.com blog. That will give me, you know, opportunity to get more information. But one thing we would like to do is make sure that everybody stays safe, and that you extricate yourself from any high-risk relationships and associations as quickly as possible. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com signing out.